So you just got a new weapon, but you're not sure how it compares to what you're currently using. The stats system in PoE is complex, to say the least, but I think there are ways to quickly decipher if a change you're considering is good or bad. Even if you've played the first game, finding the info you're looking for might not be clear. The simplest measure for comparing one weapon to another is through your skill gem menu. Next to each skill is a DPS calculator showing you the estimated damage based on your current setup, including any active buffs. If you click the arrow next to DPS, it will give you an in-depth look at what makes up the calculation. If you've ever been looking for stats like your critical hit chance, this is where it's located. Quickly swapping between your gear will give you a good comparison. There's obviously more at play, like how it affects you defensively, but it's a good start. For defensive stats, you'll focus on the character menu. Aside from your armor, block chance, evasion, life, and energy shield, pay close attention to how much elemental resistance you have. This can very easily make the difference between life and death. Sometimes sacrificing a little DPS goes a long way in your survivability. If you suck at reading like I do, I know the passive skill tree can be daunting to look at, and it's hard to tell how grabbing one passive will affect your build versus picking something else. On PC, you can hold shift while hovering over a passive point in order to see how your skills and stats will change if you pick it. On controller, click in the right stick R3 to see this menu. There's a ton of variables that go into creating your build. It's not easy, but knowledge is power. Knowing how to find the pain points that are constraining you is one of the most important aspects of perfecting your build. Building your character as a DPS monster is great until you hit a mob that one-shots you no matter what you do. I don't consider myself anywhere close to knowledgeable enough to build craft, but being able to identify my constraints has let me find progress. It's a really satisfying gameplay loop, and despite some things that seem to tell me that picking a melee class was a bad decision, like the Ascendancy trials, I'm fully addicted to this game right now. If you have any tips for other players, please leave them in the comments.